Alright, welcome to my Google Docs assignments. Here is some new assignments that I'm doing for spring break, and hopefully by spring break, okay, so I'm gonna start with the video, the Copen Jiger, or Jiger. How do you say that word? I don't know how to say it, so, sorry. Video, I can't pronounce that word, but like climate classification system. Quick guide. How do you say Jeter? Is that how you say it right? I'll look it up. That's fine.
Geiger.
Oh, Geiger. Okay, sorry. But video. The Köppen Geiger climate classification system. Quick guide. Alright, so enter your name. What is the first reason the video says is important for understanding weather patterns in an area? What is the name of the primary classification of Earth's climate? How many board categories does this classification system have? What are the categories? Where is the tropical climate zone located? If you watch the video, it can help you too. What is the rain like in the dry classification? Where do temperatures climates where do temperate climates occur? Sorry. What are the winters like in continental zones? What is the E region's climate like? What are the key defining features of an AF, the tropical rainforest? What is the difference between the OW, tropical monsoon, and the AF? What is the dry period of the AW, tropical savanna climate like? What is a BWH climate? What are its conditions like? Alright, this goes for all of you who are in earth-space science. Yeah, like, what do you think, answer all these questions if you can, but like, what do you think the answers are? I'll give you a shout out. How are BSH, hot semi-arid climate, different from BWH? What shelters BWK, cool desert climate for most moist winds? How are BSK, cool semi, different than the cool desert climates? What is the CFA, humid subtropical zone like? How is the CWA, subtropical monsoon zone, different from the other monsoon zone? How are SCSA, hot summer Mediterranean, similar but different than deserts? We are CSB, warm summer Mediterranean, similar and different with other warm summer Mediterranean climates located. What is the vegetation like in CSB? Why does the CWB, subtropical highland zone, have significantly reduced temperatures? Why is the CFB, oceanic and subtropical highland, considered of confusing cold? Good. What zone does a CFC represent? Where do DFA and DFB occur? DFA and DFB show rainfall year-round. What is the difference between in the rainfall? How are DWA and DWB different from the DFA and the DFB? How are the summers of DSA and DSB different from the other continental climates? Or climates. Where are the winter conditions for DFC or DFD climates? Where is the only place DWC or DWD climates occur? When does the dry season occur for DSC or DSD subarctic dry summer climates? Why can't tree growth be supported in ET, tundra zone? What is a permafrost? What is it produced year round in EF? Alright. Or I'll give you like 10 more minutes. Let me know if you got it. All right. All right. So let's just go to that new. I just rather go to that new assignment just to let you know. Okay, that first one was like the Copenhagen Geiger was made by Aerospace Science, like I told you on the first one. Okay, so this was the American home front during WW2, World War II. The American home front during World War II, which is made by U.S. History class. Document 1. New roles for women during World War II. With so many men fighting overseas, the demand for women workers rose sharply in 1940. In 1940, before the United States get involved in World War II, about 14 million worked, about 25% of the nation's labor force by 1945. That number had climbed to more than 19 million, roughly 30% of the nation's labor force. We can do it. Yeah, this woman's strong. She's been working out a lot. Women has the right to work out, you know. Everyone needs to work out, like I am, for example. I need to get myself some energy tomorrow because I'm gonna be working out tomorrow. So just to let you know, women worked with munitions, factories, shipyards, and offices. Much of the nation welcomed the growing numbers of women into the working space, like the workplace can be called the working place as well. The country promoted Rosie the Riveter, an image of a strong woman hard at work at an arms factory, as its cherished symbol for its new group of wage earners. Sorry, I might gotta be honest with you. My English is okay, but sometimes my English isn't that great. So sorry about that. I'm gonna read some quotes if you don't mind. All day long, weather, rain or shine, she's part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie the Riveter keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage. I don't know. Sitting up there on a fuselage, that little girl will do more than a male will do. Rosie's got a friend, Charlie. Charlie, he's a Marine. Rosie is protecting Charlie. Working overtime on the riveting machine when they gave her a production E. She was as proud as she could be. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie the Riveter, sung by Red Evans and John Jacob Loeb, 1942. Today I have a root canal today, which is at 46, um, just around 46 where I used to live. Not saying the full address, but just 46 in general. Not gonna say it. And I know that most people know where most people can come most people can come outside of my house to visit me sometimes to like give me if you want to be on my video, if you want to be on my picture, that's fine. You can come outside and do that. Actually, you can visit me outside and do that, or just be staying around the backyard or whatever. I mean, just don't come into my house without permission, or don't try to break into my house. Like in the future, I will always tell you that, but this is my time to do it right now. Just to let you know, guys, you guys cannot just come into people's houses whenever you want to. So, yeah. Alright, so beginning. Document 1 questions. Why was there a sharp increase in the number of women in the workforce in 1945? What types of jobs did women have during World War II? Who was Rosie the Riveter? As you can tell, she's strong. You can tell that she's strong and she can do whatever she can do. Looking at the picture above, describe what type of woman Rosie the Riveter seems to be. In your own words, describe the image that the song lyrics paint about Rosie the Riveter. Alright. Document 2. The War Production Board. The effort to defeat the Axis powers took more than just soldiers. American forces needed planes, tanks, and weapons, parachutes, and other supplies under the guidance of the War Production Board. Factories churned out materials around the clock. By the 1945, the country had built about 300,000 aircraft and 75,000 ships. The United States was producing 60% of the Allied ammunition. The War Production Board put up posters expressing the urgency of the war on the factory floor, but tacked up on the bulletin boards next to time clocks on factory walls. And in break rooms, posters such as the one that follows served as constant reminders of the war and the need to increase production. Slogans such as "every minute counts" were posted, as well as instructions for effectiveness. Alright, good news for home. Tanks, I almost said things, but tanks, planes, guns, ships, more production. This guy's using his hands. This soldier's using his hands. We'll give this guy using. We'll give this guy with the. We'll give this guy. We'll give his soldiers with the boxers, white boxers, which looks like. What do you think it looks like? His underwear is showing. We will if we keep him firing. Let's catch him with his panzers down. That's so hilarious. Document 2 questions. What was it WPB? What was its purpose? And how did the WPB encourage workers to produce more goods? Just like I said, the answers will be, the answer key will be around at the other parts whenever I get done with the uh, not owned by me productions. Okay, science. Document 3. Rationing. Because the armed forces needed so many materials, some of the items Americans took for granted become scarce. Scarce? No.
Scarce.
Scarce. Okay, thank you. Took granted for become scarce. For example, American automakers did not produce any cars between 1942 and 1945. Instead, they just built tanks, jeeps, and airplanes. It's all they did around between that. Items such as gasoline, tires, shoes, meat, and sugar were also in short supply. To divide these scarce goods among its citizens, the government established a system of rationing. Under this system, families received a fixed amount of a certain item. Food is a weapon. Don't waste it. Buy wisely, cook carefully, eat it all, follow the rules, and follow the matters on rationing. What do you think that those three words mean? Which is described as below. Like way bottom. Document 3 questions. What is a system of rationing? Why was the rationing necessary? What types of goods were rationed during World War II? Alright, so answer those questions if you have time. Document 4, Victory Gardens. That's what I'm doing on my previous assignment, which is I don't know if you're supposed to click out of it or not, but okay. That's when I'm doing it for my 1940s picture it. During World War II, there was a campaign to encourage the use of homegrown foods because commercially canned goods were rationed. The Victory Garden became an indispensable source of food for the home front. The Victory Garden was a household activity during the war, one of the most well received of all home front chores. At its peak, it is estimated that nearly 20 million gardens were grown, and about 40% of all vegetables produced in the U.S. came from Victory Gardens. Across the nation, home canning and preserving for farm produced flourished so that more supplies will be made available for our troops. The idea was simple in consumption and inexpensive for individual American at home to carry out. Of all the advertising techniques used to make Americans feel a part of a war effort, propaganda posters were perhaps the most successful. Playing a victory garden, our food is actually fighting. Our garden will make tour rations go further. So, for example, more vegetables can be grown by other seeds, which is like tomatoes, can be fruits, vegetables. You can make a fruit garden or a vegetable garden. You can make any garden you want, just fruits and vegetables that can be added to. You can also do you can grow plums, apples, anywhere you want. Perhaps, let's go with the questions. What was a victory garden? Which can be explained by, if you just look it up. If you don't know what, look it up. If you don't know, look it up if you don't know what it means. Why did people grow them during World War II? About how much of a nation's vegetables were produced by the victory gardens? How did the government encourage people to grow these gardens? There will be answer keys around whenever I get done, like the not owned by me assignments, which were made by teachers. Document 5: New rules for minorities during World War II. World War II created new job opportunities for minorities on the home front. More than 1 million African Americans worked in the defense industry during the war. Many of these jobs were along the West Coast. And in the North, as a result, more than 1 million African Americans migrated for the South. I mean, if you just if you see a blue translate, you can actually click on it. I don't think you can, but yeah, you can. Yeah, I can. I'm just making sure. You can actually click like this. This will tell you how much, this is all called the population living in American South. This will tell you what it means, so. You can see that by this picture has been explained. Looks like Chinese, but Chinese, for example, up there. During the war. It was also migrated for the South during the war. On paper, African Americans enjoyed equal rights in some workplaces. Besides African Americans, other minority groups also lent support to the home front effort. Some 46,000 Native Americans left their reservations to work in the nation's war industries. Tens of thousands of Hispanics also joined the ranks of the country's war-related laborers and lent support to the farm industry. Both African Americans and Mexican Americans faced a great deal of prejudice in the United States as they attempted to aid in the war effort. United we win. Yes, we always win. Alright, here are questions. How did minorities' role change during the World War II? Name 3 minority groups who aided in the war effort during World War II. How were these minority groups treated? I'll give you a few minutes. Actually, a few seconds. All right, document 6, internment camps. This is a family of these guys, these group of boys and girls. They are these people look familiar. I actually seen them before. In the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, I think I see them around like probably like 2000. I don't know, 2007, I think. Yeah, yeah, 2007. Yeah, I remember seeing that picture. In the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, a growing number of Americans began to direct their anger towards people of Japanese ancestry. In the days and weeks after Pearl Harbor, several newspapers declared Japanese Americans to be a security threat. President Roosevelt eventually responded to the growing anti-Japanese hysteria. In February 1942, he signed an order that allowed for the removal of Japanese and Japanese Americans from the Pacific coast. Just like they had to relay it to those removals for those kind of steps. What do you think it happens after this? The action came to be known as the Japanese American Internment. More than 110,000 men and women and children were rounded up. They had to sell their homes and possessions and leave their jobs. The citizens were placed in the internment camps, areas where they were kind of left to kept under guard. In these camps, families lived in single rooms with little privacy. About two-thirds of the people sent to live in internment camps were Nije, or sorry, how do you say Nije? Japanese Americans born in the United States. Many Japanese Americans argued that internment for racial reasons was constitutional. The Supreme Court, however, upheld internment throughout the war. However, in 1988, Congress apologized for the treatment of Japanese Americans during WW2, sorry, and voted to pay survivors of the camps $20,000. So this is what it represents to. This is what it looks like. The WRA relocation camps 1942 to 1946. Here are the questions for document 6. What are the internment camps? Why were Japanese Americans forced to live in these camps? What are Nije? What were conditions like at these camps? Why did some people believe that internment camps were unconstitutional? Which can be explained by what I just wrote. What I just read. Alright, next assignment. I don't know how long I've been recording, but hopefully I'll be able to know when I can see. This was made by U.S. history class. Like, life on a home front, elaborate. World War II, life on the home front. Directions. First. Excuse me. Go to Discovery Chapter 8, Section 4. Click on Elaborate at the top of the page in line with Engage, Explore, Explain, etc., which can be explained in the other parts of that too. Once you are in Elaborate, click on the first activity called Life on the Home Front. It has 4 cartoon characters and the boxes on it. After you click on it, a new window will open. Please do not type your answers into the activity itself. The answers don't always stay the answers don't always stay and they get lost in cyberspace. Please write all of your answers on this worksheet. Because you don't want to the answers usually just gets lost. The answers usually just gets lost in cyberspace. So please don't type your answers into the activity itself. Please don't do that. Because the answers can always get lost. Introduction. What was life like for people living at home during WW2? What were some of the ways family made sacrifices on a daily basis, reminding them what they were at the war, even at home? In this activity, you will get to know four Americans who might have lived during World War II and explore these perspectives that each might have had on key issues of the day. Part 1. Building background knowledge. Click Next on the main page with four characters in boxes. Directions. Read the introduction tab in the activity and then answer the questions below if you want the page to read to you. Click on the speaker in the top right-hand corner of the reading. Alright, this is for you. Name 2 ways that the economy changed the U.S. during WW2. 2A. What were internment camps? Click on the green highlighted word. What event led on their creation in the U.S.? Which groups were affected by the creation of internment camps? Which is like many groups. Describe some of the ways that American families make sacrifices on a daily basis during WW2. Meeting the visuals, which is part 2. Directions. Click Next for the part 1. Background information section. Click on the first person, Jane Viola, and read about them. After reading about each person, answer the question below about them. Once all of the questions are answered, click Next. How does a gas station affect the way Jane gets to work each day? What characteristics about Aaron made it easier for he and his life to come to the United States? Which is like 2 things. Which is 2 answers below. Some of them are 2 answers below on the other part that I've seen. You guys know. 3A. What are Ralph's views on people with higher income being taxed at a higher rate? Why does he feel this way? Get plenty of details. Or you can use your own words. What are the living conditions like for Susan at a relocation camp? Give specific examples about food, sheltering, clothing, and schooling. Go to the next page. Part 3. Exploring perspectives. Directions 1. After reading and answering questions on each individual person, click Next in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. This will take you on a section called Explore Perspectives. Inside the Explore Perspectives section, choose one issue and try to decide how the individual would feel about the issue that you chose. Write down if you would agree, yes, would be neutral, or disagree, no. Then jot down a few reasons why that person would feel this way. Please read through all 3 issues thoroughly before choosing one. Next, in the window, click the position you choose. You do not have to put your reasoning in. Click the button. View historically likely perspectives. This will show you how the person would have felt historically. Circle yes or no in a section that says where you're right. Issue shows read it here, which is all the person that can be explained. Person, yes, neutral, or no. Reason, or were you right? It can be no or yes. This is a yes or no question. Alright, I think I'm gonna do like a few more assignments, but I think I'm gonna do like a few more assignments, then I might answer some questions below. This is the junior vocab list 24. Vocab victory. The word within the word list 24.1. Everyone must complete all 3 columns, which is all the words that can be described. Oh, there's Android. Yeah, Android. I've seen it before. You can pause if you want to. You mean an Android phone? Yeah. You mean an Android phone? Yeah, definitely. Could be one of those. Yeah, it's pretty short. You can pause the video if you want to. I'm not going a little fast like some people are, but you know. Alright, D-Day 360 Viewing Guide. you can see that Mr. Kuhn is always caring about students about grades. So, yeah. D-Day free 360 viewing guide, which is like reminded as like Xbox 360. Instructions as you watch the video, please write down 15 things you learned. Please complete this activity for points. 59% of you are failing this class. We have less than 3 weeks until the end of the quarter when grades are due. So get your grades up, like some people say, obviously you have to get your grades up to get the extra credit. Obviously. I think I'm gonna do like 2 more assignments, which are pretty long enough. Okay, so this was made by U.S. History class. Once again, this was made by World War II. Outcome: the European Theater 1. Aggression in Europe, which can be a long video, long movie. You can still watch it, right? Alright. Italy invaded blank and took control in 1945. B. Spain's Civil War was won by the blank in 1946. See Germany. 1946, Hitler had blank and sent troops to the blank. 1938, Hitler next blank and demanded a blank. W. Sketch. What?
I'm going to work.
Alright.
Alright, if you need anything, message me.
Alright.
When you home for lunch, anything, message me.
Alright, so at 3 o'clock is
Your appointment.
what time, how long do I have to be there?
Not very long.
Not very long?
No?
Whatever you gonna do to me?
I don't know.
We're just gonna look at it?
Maybe. But they may fix it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Okay.
Okay? But I'll be here at 11:30 to check on you for lunch, okay?
I'm okay.
Alright, I love you.
Okay. Sorry about that. My apologies. Did I read this? Oh. 1938. Blank Conference. Germany, Italy, and Britain. Germany, Italy, Britain, and France. First, goal to stop further blank in Europe. Result. The Munich Pact gave Hitler the Sudetenland if he promised to end. Blank, free, policy blank. March 1939, Germany took the rest of blank, appeasement failed. Blank and blank pledged war if aggression continued. 1949, Hitler and Stalin signed a blank pact. Do you know what it is? United States reaction to foreign aggression. 1945 passed blank act. Norms to blank nations. 1949 blank in blank policy. Purpose to aid the Allies. War in Europe, early period. September 1st, 1949, with Blitzkrieg attack. World War II begins. France and Great Britain, the next day too, yeah. The blank intensifies. Blank war period. Blank in parentheses, September 1939, April to 1940. April 1940, Germany resumed blank attacks. Blank fell quickly. Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Norway, blank fell to Hitler in late June, blank. D. Summer fall. 40 Battle of blank. German blank versus RAF in parentheses. E. June 1941. Hitler double-crossed Stalin in blank through period. Through Poland. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be at the dentist, but hopefully they'll fix it. Big mistake. You guys know how that way I had which is my left side that has that far back. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Big mistake Stalin used blank military tactic harsh blank, and lack of usable supplies resulted in over 1 million Nazis loses free. Diplomacy was failing blank. It was blank when dealing with the Hitler B-stepped 1940, Germany, Italy, and Japan signed the blank pact. Axis powers, U.S. neutrality biased. 1940, World War One, blank given for blank deal with Great Britain. 1941, blank and blank act. U.S. become the blank. Democracy free. 1941, FDR and W. Churchill. Britain agreed to the blank charter for lots of events to U.S. entry. 1941, U.S. attempted to stop Japan's invasion of China in Civil War. Sent to blank, warning to issued a scrap metal in blank. By August 1941, blank fell to Japan. U.S. began to full Japan, not Japan, but U.S. began to full blank against Japan. Japan responded by sending a blank to Washington, D.C. to blank for in blank on a U.S. decoded message. 5th, December 7th, blank. Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. U.S. Pacific Fleet was based on Pearl Harbor, and blank. Attack was meant to cripple blank, so couldn't interfere with Japan. C-6 aircraft carriers and 353 Japanese planes attacked in blank. D. 2,403 died, 177 killed on a USS Arizona. USS declared on the war of Japan on the next day. Date that will live in blank at blank and blank declared war on the U.S. on December 8th, 1941. Tripartite Pact G, the U.S. was officially in the blank. Blank was over. Key nations at the war. Allies blank. Axis blank. Fill out the words if you have time. European theater, name given to the blank that took place in blank. 1942. Blank stood alone against Axis and General Dwight Eisenhower equals blank of the European theater. The Allies first invaded through the killing session. First invaded through blank and up to blank. E blank was overthrown and killed at Eastern Front. Blank. 1. The Nazis were fighting at the blank in Stalingrad, August of 1942 to February of 1943. One of the blank in the history of warfare. 3. Nazis are defeated blank of the war for the Allies. G. Western Front blank. General Eisenhower planned on D-Day for blank. 2 blank across English Channel into English Channel into Normandy, France. 3 blank in history. IV Allies blank allowed them to push further into blank of the blank. Hitler's last major blank. Allies were pushing from the blank from France blank for Italy, and from the blank Soviets. Germany was blank 8 German surrender. Hitler blank before he could be captured. Germany officially blank on May 7th, 1945. Following the day is known as blank Day C. Now the Allies had to figure out how to blank. Alright, so I'll give you the answer key around some part, depends whenever I can do it, or I can show you at the different part, or I can show you around part something that I can actually do if I have time to do all this. Okay, so some people have two questions about. People also ask about how did World War II start? World War II began in Europe on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. Great Britain and France responded by declaring war on Germany on September 3rd. The war between the USSR and Germany began on June 22nd, 1941, with the German invasion of the Soviet Union. So that's how it's all started. Okay, so last question. When did World War II start? Like I said, September 1st, 1949 to September 2nd, 1945, which started um, which started 6 years ago on that day. So yeah. All right. So if you guys have any questions about World War II, then just comment down below uh, what questions you have about what questions you have about the World War II. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the part. I think I'll see you guys on the part. I'm not sure, but I'll look it up.